Hey, welcome to Grace Gem Podcasts, which will be just an extension of my YouTube channel from Grace Gem Collective. I am Aisha. I will be your host for this podcast. This is episode 1. Okay, so forgive me. I have all my notes and they're like down here. So I'm going to have to be looking down while I'm doing a lot of talking. I'm so sorry about that. I will try and maintain eye contact as much as I possibly can. Today's podcast is a topic that I feel for me was a controversial topic, and now isn't so much a controversial topic for myself, but I feel like in the women community of fitness that it kind of is. And today I will be talking about strength training or weightlifting. I do feel like there is kind of like a stigma around it, that if you are weightlifting as a woman, that you get bulky and you get kind of like man-like. I've definitely wanted to discuss a couple of topics with this and hopefully convince you to start on a weightlifting journey for me, which also kind of gave me a little more perspective into just like toning my body and just getting where I wanted myself to look. So I'm going to talk a little bit about my background. So for most of you guys who probably don't know me and are new to my channel and haven't taken any of my fitness classes, I have been a fitness instructor for about 11 years now. I got started with Zumba, started taking some Zumba classes back in my home state of Georgia before I got engaged and moved here, and fell in love with it. Came here to Ohio. That's where I live, like now, it's where I'm from. Came to Ohio and started taking some classes at our local rec here in town. And then one of the instructors reached out to me and said, "Wow, you taken Zumba before?" And I was like, "Yeah, I've taken Zumba before." And she's like, "Well, you should definitely look into probably getting trained, because there really aren't a lot of Zumba instructors around here." So I got trained. Because I really love cardio. I've always been into treadmill, ellipticals, but I also love dancing, which is kind of a form of cardio as well. So I got trained as a Zumba instructor and took over a class for one of my friends who went on maternity leave, and have been there ever since. I still do teach Zumba. I did have to take a step back since I am 8 months pregnant and with my third kid. So things just aren't sitting the way that they used to sit, but really love teaching Zumba, just because I do like dance. I love music, all that kind of thing. I'm also a certified bar instructor. I got that certification a couple months after Ezra was born, maybe like 8 or 9 months after Ezra was born. That's my son. And love teaching bar. Definitely noticed some different changes in my body from teaching bar as well. If you aren't aware of what bar is, it's like a mix between Pilates and yoga and some ballet moves. And it really focuses on like toning small muscle groups instead of working on large muscle groups. I definitely noticed some changes in my body with that. There is some weightlifting and resistance band things that go along with doing bar. Did a top bar for a little over a year. It didn't pick up as much here as it did in some other places. I do have bar classes on my YouTube channel. That's kind of how I started my YouTube channel, was with the bar classes. I do love incorporating the light weights into my workouts, and that's kind of where I started. I will definitely have to say, my husband though has really been, I wouldn't say bugging me about weightlifting for years or any of that, but he has been working out since high school. And the thing they say is to just start, right? With anything new, to just start. So he started. I would say he has made so many more improvements since then. He has found some other influencers on YouTube who've really helped him hone his skill and develop muscles in areas where he was looking to develop muscles. And he has been telling me for years, you should at least try. You should at least try. Women should be weightlifting too. You should be lifting weight. It's not going to make you bulk up. You're not going to look like a man, because those were my complaints all the time. Like, oh my gosh, I'm going to look like a man if I am lifting heavy weights and things like that. So, I really love running. It is a stress reliever for me. I have ran 2 half marathons. I know that's not a lot, but and a couple of 5Ks. I have a 5K here that I like to run every year. Won't be running it this year just because the baby will be born around that time. But I do love running. And then when I was training for my last half marathon, I decided to incorporate some strength training, some weightlifting type exercises into my plan for my running plan. But I had also noticed that because I was running so much that I was like, man, I feel like I should be losing weight because of all the running that I'm doing. And I wasn't necessarily gaining a ton of weight, but I felt bloated all the time. Like I just felt like I was continually bloated. I couldn't get rid of the bloat. Changed some things about my diet. When you do train for half marathon, a 5K, full marathon, any of that, you do have the tendency to eat more carbs because carbs give you energy. So when I train for my half marathons, I do eat a lot of carbs, especially before runs. And that probably led to some of the bloating. But one thing that I did do differently this time was I was lifting. We have a home gym that we built during COVID. When all the gyms shut down, my husband was just like, oh, absolutely not. I have to have somewhere to work out. And so we made the decision to build a home gym in our home, which has been great. Having him home more and knowing like that we can just go out to the garage and get him if we need him for anything. But we do have a home gym. And so I, during COVID, started lifting with him. I was the first person in our collective of people to catch COVID. I am a school teacher, by the way. I don't think I've ever shared that information, but I am a school teacher. So I did catch COVID when COVID first, I guess when it was a little more scary in the beginning. And so afterwards, I really, for some reason, got focused on my health and started weightlifting with my husband, started to see like some results. Like I was like, oh my gosh, like, man, I'm getting muscles in my arms and I'm seeing some toning in my abs. Guys, I've never seen my abs. Like I've never seen the muscles in my abs. They've never been defined. And so I started weightlifting with my husband, kind of fell off the bandwagon with that, got back into running because like I said, I really love running. And we have 2 kids, so mom of 2, trying to do all the things, full-time teacher, running, trying to stay healthy and make sure the family stays healthy. And it was just a lot. And so I kind of let the weightlifting just kind of fall by the wayside. And so with my last half, this was like right before we ended up getting pregnant, I did notice that I was seeing a lot more bloating, even though I was trying to strength train, but I was only really doing anything with that like once a week. And then a lot of the things that I was doing was cardio. Cause like in my mind for the longest time I've had like, wow, if I really want to slim down or stay slim or anything like that, I really need to focus in on my cardio. And so I was continually doing a lot of cardio. And so, I wouldn't say recently, maybe like last October of 2022, a little bit before that, I started consistently going out to the gym with my husband and lifting weights. So we have a couple machines, we have heavy free weights. So I do more free weight stuff than I do machine stuff. It's kind of hard for us to share that space because our gym is kind of small. But started going out there and lifting with him, and started to notice some changes in my body that I had seen before. I started to notice that I was slimming down, that my muscles were becoming more toned. I never really wanted to be buff per se. I always aim for just being toned and like, ooh, someone can definitely tell that I've been working out. Has been my main focus for when it comes to weightlifting. I don't want to be huge. And I don't have a fear of that. I don't have a fear of that now. Like with the way that I lift, I don't think that I ever could become like huge. So like, very happy with weightlifting. I've started to actually fall in love with it. I know like, one thing that really, really helped me, I was already lifting before, but, our school that I teach, the school that I teach at, we love to do a fitness challenge. And so we did, starting in February and ending like right before our spring break in April, we did a fitness challenge. We had to work out every single day, either 30 minutes a day or 10,000 steps, drinking 64 ounces of water. And we had like these little groups we were in. And I would say that consistency really got me, and I just continued from there. I am now 8 months pregnant, and I have been working out the whole pregnancy. I did have to stop for a week for some tailbone issues that I was having. And then I had to dial back on teaching Zumba, but I have been weightlifting the whole entire time. And some of the things that I have noticed with my own body since weightlifting during this pregnancy, I've noticed that my weight gain this time around, this is my third pregnancy, has not accelerated like it did with my last pregnancy. I've also noticed that I feel a little more energized. Not that any other workout won't help you feel energized. I've been having to focus a little bit more on protein just because I have noticed that I seem to be a little hungrier with lifting than I was when I was just doing cardio. And so have been doing a little more focusing on protein because it's also really important when you are weightlifting. But some of the things I used to focus on, and like, I would just, if I wanted something easy to do, or what I felt like would be easy, I would just walk or get some kind of dance fitness on the TV to do. Not saying that those are bad things, because, you know, it really helps with your cardiovascular health as well. And cardio is my jam. But what I am saying, ladies, is that if you are really looking to slim down, I would really focus in on weightlifting, strength training. I would really hone in on that. I know I've talked to several people about it, because one of the things, I've always been on the slimmer side, but I've noticed that after I started having kids, not as slim as I was before. And not that it bothered me a lot, but when I looked in the mirror, I just wasn't feeling the greatest about myself. And I really wanted to get back to that, like what I considered healthy for me isn't always what other people consider healthy for them. So let me just lead with that. What I consider healthy for me, and how being healthy feels to me, isn't going to be the same as what it feels for someone else. So I just want to put that out there in the universe before someone attacks me about how being skinny doesn't mean you're healthy. It does not mean you're healthy. My diet sucked. I barely exercised. And now I have fallen in love with exercising. And then one of the things that we've been really working on as a family is trying to eat healthier and then focusing a lot on trying to consume the proper amount of protein. My husband's really good about that. I am not so good about that, but I want to get better. So that'll be another podcast episode for another time for sure, talking about protein intake. But man, ladies, I just really, really, really encourage you to try. I do not feel that I have gotten bulky or huge or that my muscles make me look like I'm manly or anything like that. But I do feel that it has helped me reach the goals that I wanted to reach. Not necessarily quicker, but I feel like I am maintaining those goals a whole lot better. Some of the things that I hear a lot, people will ask me, "Oh, you're so skinny. How do you stay so skinny?" And or discredit me because I'm already a smaller person. But what they don't know is I work for that. Like, I have to work my butt off to stay the size I am, because I can gain weight. I will put on weight, just like anybody else will. So I know, just because someone is skinny doesn't mean that they have been skinny or they stay skinny or whatever. But I want to say, like, I do work at making sure that my body is healthy for me. I do work on that a lot. And one of the things that I've really been incorporating has been weightlifting. I really, really, really encourage you guys to try it. On my YouTube channel, I will be releasing some new videos with just basic weightlifting exercises that you can start incorporating. It doesn't even have to be long. Like, my husband likes to work out for about an hour. I do 30 minutes when I work out. Busy mom, I don't really have a lot of time to be working out for an hour, so I do about 30 to 40 minutes when I work out. Our kids have been really good just because our gym is at home and they know they can just kind of come out when we're out there. But I will be releasing some videos on that soon that you can start following. It doesn't have to be a daunting process. You don't have to be doing all these fancy moves or CrossFit type things in order to start seeing the progress that you want to see. And it's easy because you can just do it at home. But I just want to encourage you and say, like, if you are really, really looking to slim down, to get to a goal that you feel is a healthy goal for you, I would definitely try weightlifting. And you can do that with Grace Gym Collective. We will be focusing a lot more on that on our channel now. Definitely will be doing a whole lot more after this baby is born. I do have a couple of videos that I am releasing that I started recording earlier in my pregnancy, and then my energy completely took a hit, and so I only got about 3 recorded. One has been released now. It's an arms and shoulders workout, because I will tell you, arms, shoulders, and legs are like my favorite things to work out. And so I do have a video for arms and shoulders that's been released, and then we have 2 more videos that are gonna come out. But I mean, put some things in the comments about questions that you might have about weightlifting, and I'll see if my husband, someone can get to you and answer your questions. I know one of the biggest questions that I always get from people that I either work with or come to my classes is like, where do I start? So our next podcast, I will be hopefully talking to you about how to get started, and maybe a video about moves, or not moves, but exercises that you can do that are simple, that are effective, And I'm gonna tell you, you have to keep it going. You have to keep it up, right? Because nothing comes easy. You have to work for things. But thank you for joining me on first episode of this podcast. I hope that you found some useful information in here. I know this is kind of me just like talking about my experience, but I do like listening to other people talk about their experience. So I figured I would put this out into the universe so that hopefully it helps someone or motivates somebody to want to start on a weightlifting, strength training journey. Thank you for joining me. I will see you in the next video. Bye.